Morning, Lobos. How you doing? It's good to be here on Lopez Island. This is my first time. I actually was here before, but only at the ferry stop for a very short period of time. It's great to be here and see your beautiful island and your great school. You're really lucky to have a school where I've been to schools where there's 2,500 to 3,000 kids. So it's great to be in a school like this where everybody can get a little bit more attention from their teachers. My name is Michael Hawkeye Herman, as Carolyn had said, and I'm a professional blues musician. I tour all over the world, but I like to come into schools, and I want to answer a few questions about that before I play the guitar. One of the most common questions I get is, when did I start playing the guitar? I started playing the guitar when I was 12 years old, and that was more than 50 years ago. So you can do the math. And the reason why I come into schools is because, to be quite honest with you, if they would have brought a blues musician or a guitarist to my school when I was 7 or 8 years old, I would have wanted to get a guitar and start playing music then. But instead, I had to wait until I was about 13 to start playing music. And so the reason why I come into schools is, one, I'm a blues musician and I love the blues, and blues is the roots of all the music that we listen to today. Whether you know it or not, you'll find that out in this assembly. And B, it gives you an opportunity to see a professional musician up close, what we do and how we do it. And so it doesn't matter whether you want to be a musician or not, but it's very important that you get the opportunity to see somebody and talk to somebody who is a professional musician. So that being said, and the reason why they call me Hawkeye is because I grew up in Iowa, and Iowa is the Hawkeye state. You know how states have nicknames? Well, after I finished college, I moved to the West Coast, and everybody told me that if I was going to play blues, I had to have a nickname. Blues guys have nicknames, frequently. So I thought about it for a long time, and I decided to call myself Hawkeye because that always reminds me of where I came from. Now, as long as I'm saying that before I play the guitar, the most famous blues musician probably of all time is B.B. King, right? You see him on TV, he does Burger King commercials, he does public address announcements for diabetes, etc. But his real name is not B.B. King. So you could be watching TV with your folks and B.B. King comes on, and you could say to your folks, "Who's that?" And they're going to say, "Oh, that's B.B. King. Everybody knows that's B.B. King." And you could say to your folks, "But that's not his real name." And your folks would probably say, "Oh, yes, it is. He's the most famous blues musician of all time. That's B.B. King." And you would say, no. His name is Riley King. The reason why they call him B.B. was because when he was about 12 years old, he started playing the guitar. And he took his guitar everywhere. He'd go to the grocery store and sit in front of the grocery store and play the guitar. And everybody in the town that he grew up in Mississippi, would say, "Here comes that blues boy, King. Here comes that blues boy, King." And eventually they shortened blues boy to B.B. King. So now he's 86 years old, but they still call him B.B. King. So B.B. is his nickname, and that comes from when he was a teenager, when he started playing the guitar, from Blues Boy. So next time you see him on TV, say something to your folks. Ask them, say, "Who's that?" And then correct them when they tell you that it's B.B. King. All right, I think I should play the guitar for you. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do all the time. Can you hear me okay? I want to thank all the teachers. I want to thank Dean and Carolyn Jacobson and the Washington Blues Society for bringing me here. And I especially want to thank your teachers in the school for allowing the time for me to play the guitar and teach you a little bit about the blues. Now, you probably noticed that I can play the guitar and talk at the same time. Tap my foot. I'm doing about 4 things at once. The reason why I can do that is because I practice. I practice a lot. I watch television and I'll watch a baseball game and turn the sound off and play my guitar. I'll watch a movie and turn the sound down, and I'll create a soundtrack for the movie on my guitar. I play the guitar all the time. So the reason why I can sit here and play the guitar and not make any mistakes and not drop time is because I practice. You want to be good at basketball? Practice. Want to be good at soccer? You practice. Want to be good at music? You practice. Let's boogie. This is why I picked up the guitar, so that I could do this. Now, if it was after school, and I was doing this and the teachers weren't around, and if I was playing an electric guitar, and I started doing this, you all would start going like this. See, I heard this rhythm on the radio when I was about your age, 14 years old, and I was in my bedroom late at night, and I heard this boogie-woogie rhythm, the blues, on the radio, and I stopped my homework and started dancing around the room until I was out of breath, and I fell back on the bed, and I said to myself, what was that? I gotta do that. I've been boogieing ever since. I get to boogie every day. This is the boogie. You've heard this. It's what gives us rock and roll. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I got to go way up high on that neck like on MTV. Watch this. Here I go. Boogie! Are we having any fun yet? This is a lot better than algebra, isn't it? It's a lot better than English class, isn't it? Yeah, well, I can boogie all day, but I'm going to boogie one more time, way up high on the street. Here we go. Boogie. Are you with me, Lobos? Are you with me, Lobos? And let's boogie one more time. Here we go. Now, where did I start this? Oh, I remember. I'm going back to the very beginning. This is where I started. Just like this. Here we go. One more time. And he doesn't have to look at his hands when he plays. What's that about? I practice. I practice. One more time. Here we go. Take it on home.